Ave Gamers, Farrelloman here, and I'm bringing you a basic setups for trial tanks. This is not regarding if you are a Templar, a Nightblade, a DK, a Warden, or a Necro tank. This is a tank for trials and the gear setup that you should be bringing. You should not have to change the setup that you bring because of the class. You should be able to perform the job in the role with the class you bring, or it is a detriment to the group. Basics we'll start with. Main tank, these days, would be wearing Yulnakrin. Pardon my trait, this is because I'm progressing Vet Sunspire, and I'm trying to use Well-Fitted to help deal with the breath while I learn it. Ideally you want Sturdy on all with tri-stat enchantments. This is main tank setup. Off tank, depending on what your healer has and what setup and place you're going, will be wearing Ebon. Ebon is for group health, to make sure that they have enough to be able to survive incoming mechanics. Sometimes healers wear Ebon. Torogs is another off tank or just pure support. Healers can wear this as well. The whole point of Torogs is to increase the potency of your enchantment. This makes your Crusher and your weakening enchantment bigger and proc more often. This needs to be up in group from someone, whether it's off tank or a healer. Resilient Yokeda is in the selfish tanking setups. Resilient Leeching Plate, Bahara's Curse, any of these hurt them and heal you setups work great for selfish moments. There are very few selfish moments where you might be holding a Lamia off to the side, a Manacora off to the side, axes off to the side, and there is no healer to help you. Outside of those, you should always be in group buff or debuff setups. Weapons and jewelry. These days, two-hand enchantments are bigger than a one-hand enchantment. So we put a bow for more burn with certain skills, a lightning staff for more debuffs with certain skills, or maybe even an ice staff, depending on your preferences and role in group. You might have Alkosh, Morag Tong, Powerful Assault, and then Werewolf Hide is another selfish setup. This addresses your ultimate generation. Werewolf Hide and Dragon, both great options. They both address ultimate gain in combat, or control of ultimate in combat, which can, for a selfish tank, depending on class and situation, can be very important. Pair ulti generation with resistances and hurt them, heal you concept, you get a very selfish tank setup. It's really amazing. Leeching Plate is another option. Get some pretty cool named pieces for that. Grievous Leeching Ward talks to you, gotta have it. Your Alkosh, your Morag Tong, your Powerful Assault, those are your atypicals. For example, main tank might wear Alkosh and Yulnakrin anywhere that they go. Whereas, depending on if you're going into Sunspire, you might have Yulnakrin and Morag Tong. We have a few changes with the next patch. They might address the Alkosh issue on the dragons, so that might come back. But for now, Morag Tong. That can also be brought by a stamina DPS in group. Lord Warden gives you stackable resistances. These go over any resistances you already have, and it's not quite as high as it could be because you share it with everybody else. Earthgore, selfish tank moments, once every 30 seconds, and it seems like that's pretty par with mechanics anyways. You burst heal yourself and purify. It is nice. It can help for a healer to have it in the right place. A controlled situation, there's only going to be one or two people even under that 50% if everybody's on par. Bloodspawn, this is like main tank. When you take damage, you get ulti gain, and you gain resistances. Selfish, amazing. When you're wearing Yulnakrin and Alkosh or Morag Tong, these are not very tanky sets, if you will. This is your saving grace. This is your resistances and your ultimate gain. On top of the only thing you get from Yulnakrin is Aegis, protection in trials. It's really nice. This is where I'm going to go against the grain of what I stated earlier. I am a necro tank. I have an issue with pulling things in. My beckoning armor only works on one target every 3 seconds. In the wrong place, that is not the right amount of control. Silver Leash can be used to on spot pull something to you, but it's pretty expensive. Swarm Mothers, for a necro, is like a natural tank chain. You aggro it, it attacks you, Swarm Mothers pulls it in. If your team or yourself do not need resistances, burst heals, and you don't need ulti control, you can opt for Swarm Mothers to help your necro along. It is nice, but you should always bow to the prior formulas before your own. Stonekeepers, selfish setup, amazing. Basically think of it in a 20-second gap. When you block, after 6 seconds of successful blocking, you'll release a 5k stamina mag and a 5.5k heal. 14 seconds later, you get this again. So it's a every 20-second type thing. Take a synergy now, get this to proc, pop a potion, use an ultimate, rinse and repeat. You should have perfect sustain in most situations. And this is in a heavier sustain issue. Or maybe your healers are busy elsewhere. So again, we usually main tank is Blood Spawn, off tank is Lord Warden, enter other sets when needed. Jewelry would be paired with your weapons. We bring a lot of medium, light armor, and maybe even other heavy, but we don't want that on body. Enchantments can be things like shield play and mag recovery. Unfortunately, somebody is working outside, so I have to cut this short. Until the next time, gamers, and I hope this helps.